speak, dial *144*8# to recharge your MTN account with 10 Rand airtime or more to stand a chance to win a share of prizes worth up to the value of 8 million Rand. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.
Well, Wethu Zilana, and we're here with another video. We are going to, just analyze, the game Stellenbosch versus Orlando Pirates. I'm mainly going to be focusing on Orlando Pirates, how they can, dominate this game, how they can create chances, how they can score. We're just going to be analyzing it. The first thing we're going to speak about is the battles between these two teams. I think going into this game, we are going to see Orlando Pirates trying to dominate the game. Pirates are going to try to keep possession. That is the battle for Orlando Pirates. But in comparison to Stellenbosch are a very good side, mainly because this is a team which is able to absorb pressure. 90 minutes, the whole game, they can allow you to hit them. And they are just standing still, and resilient. So this is going to be a difficult side. It's not going to be an easy game. I think as they're able to absorb this pressure, one thing they're also good at doing is they're able to counter you. They're very good in countering, playing on the transition, very quick, But I think on the tactical approach, Orlando Pirates will come in a 4-2-3-1, the usual formation, and we are not sure exactly in Stellenbosch, but I want to mainly focus on the out of possession, not really in possession. I'm thinking they would choose maybe a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3, we don't know. But as we start, we are lacking some players, by faith, as Orlando Pirates. We might not have Unda, we might not have Usaleng. These are the players which might be crucial in the game, but we might not have them. So now it's up to you guys. We want to see in the comment sections, who would you replace Unda and Usaleng, in the starting lineup. But we'll use them as if they are there, all right? Now, Orlando Pirates, of course, is a build up. They want to start, building up from the back. And one thing I like about Jose Rivero, he has this thing of not allowing the opposition to press them on one side and not forcing, or not allowing them to be forced to one side. He allows a centre back to start the ball, not a goalkeeper. Because when you allow a centre back to start the ball, I just want to put it, in a let me do it like this. When you start the ball, all right, and now you are able to give it to Yonda, what then happens then, these players, your two strikers, are able to create this curve run. Now this curve run makes you to play the ball to the side. And now once you have more players, there are men marking you, they close the space so that it's so difficult for you to even play in this area. So I think that because now Jose Rivero knows that, okay, I need to actually let Uchine start. And some of you may regard Uchine as a third centre back, mainly because of the, the soccer, the ability, let me say that, the ability of playing from the back, playing with, his feet. This is what he's very good at. And I think that they are going to start the ball from a centre back going into Uchine. China gets the ball, now he has options. Now it's a 3 versus 2, meaning that Orlando Pirates have that numerical advantage. Instead of when they are closed and they cannot occupy or use this side of the pitch. This is the things we're going to be seeing. All right, that's the first thing I want us to talk about. They're going to be trying to control the game. Now, Orlando Pirates, there's this thing, all right? I don't want to get too much on the players who's going to be playing, all right? But with a Mahopa, this is what you get. You can get Mfukeng playing out wide, but then we can get a box midfield if Umahopa can come in. As you can see now, this becomes a box. Now, when you're playing against a 4-3-3, these are your 4-3-3s, all right? These are your 3 midfielders. Now, we have overloaded by bringing Omabasa inside. Not only having them pin the defense, we allow him to come here and we overload. That means that we have better chances of getting out through the center. And so I think this is one thing I'd want to see from Umahopa. Not only him playing on the defense's line, but coming in and creating that box midfield so that we can overload them. All right. What are we going to see from Orlando Pirates? We're going to be seeing attacking fullbacks, the likes of Monyane. If Monyane is there, having Usaleng invert and then having, him play out wide. These are the things we are going to see. Not only are they going to be playing with attacking fullbacks, but they have, Jose Rivera has this thing of allowing, his players to let me say, invert, especially, the fullbacks. Especially the fullbacks. Let me just quickly do it for you here. You are playing with your number 9 there. Here's your Tito. And there's your Saleng inverted now. Instead of having Umonyane touch the line, now you have a Monyane coming inside. What does this do now? It allows us now to get the ball, rotate the ball, and get that ball straight to Usaleng. Now Saleng has a 1v1 now by just inverting the right back, which can be your Monyane. So just by inverting him, you get that straight diagonal pass, and then you get a 1v1 from Usaleng. These are the things we might see. All right, we are going to see high pressing from Orlando Pirates. Now, Orlando Pirates are going to try force Stellenbosch one side, as I showed here. Ngomabasa always curving his run, making sure they pressure them on one side. We are going to see. I want to see this. I want to see that when we have the ball, and now we are in the mid block per se. We are in the mid block. I want Emakaula to come in here. And let's leave China to stay in the box. And have Emakaula drop in between the two center backs. That allows us to push up high, because we know that Stellenbosch have very pacey wingers. So when they have their wingers now there, we are able to be closer to them. The distance, is much closer. But now when it's a back two, it becomes more difficult, because now the space for them to exploit is very easy, and the pass there is not complicated. But once you get a Makaula drop into that back three, which China would do, you can then spread it out. And then you have Utalent Mbata playing as your one pivot. So these are the things we might see. How do I think Orlando Pirates should win the game? Orlando Pirates should dominate in every aspect. I think we've been bad in our corners, let me say. Our corners have not been that great. I think we can do better in our corners, because if you're playing against the Stellenbosch, we have to dominate in every aspect, whether it's set piece, whether it's transition, whether it's out of possession, it's in possession. We need to dominate. Dominating doesn't mean though you are going to win the game. We still need to create chances now. And Stellenbosch can line up in a low block. If Stellenbosch decide now to sit back, let's say they have gotten a goal, what then do we do? As Orlando Pirates, they decide now to stay in an out of possession 4-4-2, and they're going to be tactically disciplined. They are going to be, compact, making sure that we can't find spaces. I believe that Stellenbosch are going to be able to frustrate the Orlando Pirates with this compact defending. But now it's up to Orlando Pirates to be patient and to make sure that we're able to break them. Against Richards Bay, we know we're not able to break Richards Bay. But I'm hoping that going to the final, we'll be able to break this. Now, in order for us to break a low block, there are certain things we need to do, all right? Usually, we can have our players here, all right? We have our number 9. We have, or let me say we have, us playing with the width. We can use width in order to play, against the slow block, using our wide areas, mainly because we want them to shift. And as we shift the defense, as they come this side, what do? We overload to isolate. We overload to isolate. As the ball comes now, we still have this one player who's isolated. And because we have overloaded them, we're able to, get to Munyane. And Munyane can play a dangerous ball into the box. These are the things we're going to see, guys. What is another way to break a low block? All right. We need creativity. Now, the likes of Tito Masangai, they're going to be crucial because they need to break the low block. Now, this is where individual brilliancy comes in. I think Tito will have to play more of 1-2s than, him Akibeli Pola. We need him playing more 1-2s. 1-2s allow you to attack up men, and usually the first instinct of a defender is to come at you. When a defender comes at you and you are playing that 1-2, you have already beaten them. It's just a pass and move game, And we've seen Utito play that pass and move game, starting it from the right-hand side. The viral video, which you have all seen, where he starts the ball here, it's a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and Mfukeng had a chance to score that. So these are the things we are going to see. We need Utito to play those 1-2s. He's very good in those 1-2s. We need players to pass and move, all right? And we need to be patient because the Stellenbosch is a Sogolisa. That is no doubt. Now, the other thing, Stellenbosch are playing on the counter. Stellenbosch are playing on the counter. They might cheat their players, put their players up front so that when they get the ball, they are able to play that quick transition. Now, what do? It means that we're going to have a proper rest defense. We're going to need a proper rest defense, which is going to make sure that always they are able to, withstand every attack, And I know we talk so much about the Stellenbosch, but it doesn't mean that every counter-attack they will do will result into a goal. I think that's what one of the points Jose has said, that not every counter will result to something. So we have to trust our players. We have to trust our rest defense, making sure that we are there, to counter anything or any attack which might come our way. Now, counter-pressing is going to be very crucial in this game. Now, what is counter-pressing? Counter-pressing is when, we try, or actually, when does it happen? Let me start there. It happens when we're out of possession. It's basically pressing, but it's pressing immediately after losing the ball. So immediately after losing the ball, the closest man to the ball has to counter-press, has to get the ball. The likes of Pep Guardiola, the likes of Jurgen Klopp, they will tell you that they have 6 seconds to get the ball. And this is why I'm saying that Orlando Pirates need to dominate. They need to dominate in every aspect. So counter-pressing will help stop those quick transitions. It will help with those counter-attacks which they want to possess to our team. So we need to counter-press. The closest man, I think we might get a lot of fouls, or a lot of yellow cards because of this counter-pressing, always doing a technical foul or causing one, These are the things which might happen. I think then the last thing which we must do is, basically we need to press them high, especially if they decide to build up from the back, If they ever decide to build up from the back, we need to be able to press them high. We need to force mistakes, in that 4-2-3-1. We need to come into that 4-2-3-1 shape and make sure that we press them high, making sure that they don't have an option to play. I can't create the structure, but I want to create the back four, And then here's your number 9. And as I said, Umabasa is always going to curve that run. So we need to make sure that as he curves his run, the front three now decides to shift and focus on this side. And we start closing them out, forcing mistakes, making sure that we can capitalize on that. And I think that if we can do all of these things, Orlando Pirates can win the game. I'm very confident in Orlando Pirates. I think the mentality of the boys is okay. We need players to show up in the game. I think that one thing which Orlando Pirates need to make sure they don't do is close out the space for themselves. Orlando Pirates like doing this with their midfielders, especially the likes of Makhehle Makaula no Talent Mbata. They have this thing of always closing themselves. And I don't understand why they like doing this. And I mean, I believe that when you have a Kabelo Dlamini, he's always, you know, doing the opposite, which I think is great, actually. So here's my thing. You know, if the ball is here, you know, and I think if you go and watch the PhD man, you know, he highlighted on this, you know, how lines should not be flat, you know. And I spoke about this in the previous interview. Lines should never be flat. We always want staggered lines. We want lines at an angle. Because now when you are playing out from the back and you play like this, you are pinning yourself to a player, which makes us not able to play out from the back. It makes everything difficult. But now, if you are able to push your man there, then we have freedom. We have freedom, we are able to play. So these are the small details which we don't notice, but we need to do. And I think Orlando Pirates might come out on top because of us being tactically disciplined, us creating chances, us dominating. And I believe that through all of that, we can win the game. Thank you.